Welcome everybody to another edition of Amplify Your Business. Today we're down here talking to Diana, who is the owner of the Art of Charcuterie, one of the coolest, most beautiful food-oriented businesses in all of Edmonton. Welcome to the show, Diana.
Thank you, Lance. Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about the backstory of the Art of Charcuterie. How did it start? When did it start? There's got to be some sort of magical story to this whole business that you have here.
Well, I think it started generally I love socializing and I love gathering people together. And so I was an event planner at Studio 96 here in Edmonton.
Okay.
And then I used to make little platters for people. And then I was at a friend's party and I made a potluck dinner. And I created this masterpiece of charcuterie with lots of artifacts. And people, when they walked in, there just was this wow factor. And they said, oh my God, it was like a piece of art. And it was for me, it was like painting a picture with food. And I love food and all the textures and the colors of food. And then I had one of those moments, aha. And then I was like, this is what I want to do. This is it.
Yeah.
I'm 52. This is my business now. So I started to find out more about how to become a licensed food permit holder and get a commercial kitchen. And then I started. And I just started Instagram and I started posting my pictures, and I had some contacts within the event industry.
Yep.
And then I would turn up and nobody was doing this at the time and nobody had seen anything like it. And off I went. And I was very naive at first, just because there's so much to it. There's so much in setting up, buying the products, resourcing the suppliers. I really was a bit green in that. Yeah. And I've learned as I've gone along, but I found Mealies. It just recently opened in 2000, I think it was 18. Okay. And I loved the concept of local food, and that's where my heart was. So I just made a great relationship with them, and I used all the meats, the deli meats, because they make them in-house from free-range animals. And I started using their products all the time, and they noticed something in me and what I was doing. And just before COVID hit, they asked if I would come in and join them making charcuterie boards, because they simply don't have time. And they said, and you do it the best, so why go anywhere else? Then COVID hit, of course. And then for me, my business I didn't have a business then, because all my weddings got cancelled, all my events got cancelled, everything got cancelled.
So the bulk of your business then in the early days was through the events then?
It was all events.
All events. Okay.
I was catering events, so I was doing this elaborate displays for weddings, especially parties.
So, and that's really interesting, because when COVID hit, a lot of the restaurants then, they pivoted into doing charcuterie takeouts and boxes and different things like that as well. And here, that was what the core of your business was. And so it really wasn't too much of a pivot, I would imagine, for you in a way. Were you able to then continue to tap into that at home and some of those Zoom meeting type opportunities that some of the other restaurants and stuff were trying to do with these virtual events with their charcuteries as well?
For sure, because the day before the COVID hit, it was the Edmonton Chamber of Commerce, and it was the food evening where everyone goes.
Yeah, I was there actually. Yeah.
So I was there for my first exhibition, and I'd made these small boxes for people. Yeah. So I'd already started making boxes before it even hit. Yeah. So once COVID hit, I realized I have to create boxes. So at home in that time where it was like a couple of months, where I had quite time to play, I started researching and finding out supplies for boxes. I got my supplier in the States. I wanted to use good, ethical products that was food safe. So, and then I started making these boxes. And then when I made a whole line of boxes at home, and then I sent them to Mealies, and I said, "This is what I have. It's time for me to come in. Are you can we talk?" Yeah. And as soon as they saw what I did, they got me in straight away. I realized that I wanted to have my own company name. So what I did was I leased space from them. Yeah. So they gave me a few months rent free to get me started. They were so supportive. Yeah. And then collaboration at its best moved, and I really believe in collaboration, what it's done for me. Yeah. It's one of those points, if you can collaborate as a small business in another bigger business, then you can help each other out within marketing, I've learned so much being here, especially on a culinary level, because a lot of chefs come here. I've met lots of chefs. I ask questions. I want to learn from them.
Yeah.
And so my boxes have turned into a culinary experience now, which has developed from being in Mealies. I'm passionate about from A to B, how it looks, but the food has to match. And also then you get into the delicacies and nuances of pairings.
Yeah.
So how you pair something, what cheese goes with what is that explosion in your mouth? What I want to bring, so now I want to bring people into an experience. So when they open a box, they will smell, they will taste the different textures, and and you got a menu with a box too, so they'll go in and find which is, wonder what that is, I wonder what that is. So it brings it to a little dining experience at home for picnics, and especially people are sending charcuterie now.
Yeah.
So it's a new niche for me, so that people send flowers, which are beautiful, but now they can send something nourishing. So it's a niche that I fell into, not even thinking about that, but I have a great courier delivery service now, and we've paired up another collaboration, and now we deliver charcuterie to people's doorsteps, which is really handy when there was all these restrictions as well.
Are these very intentional engagements where you're seeking out that, or does it just kind of happen organically?
It kind of happens organically, and like I'm a heart-forward person, so I'm always looking to connect, and I'm always looking to connect with local people who've got amazing produce as well, because I believe putting local in my boxes helps we all help each other out, especially in these unprecedented times. We need that support with each other, no matter what it is. So it's organically developed, and then you learn more as you develop, and as I've developed my business as I've moved. So I didn't have much of a business plan, to be honest, and now I'm in the development stages of future, but I can't go too far ahead because we just don't know what's going to happen in our climate. So
isn't it the truth? I mean, the business planning is one thing, right? We're always told as entrepreneurs, business owners, that you have to be continually, creating business plans, updating those business plans because things need to flex and so on. But this is, like you said, so unprecedented. It doesn't matter what kind of business plan you had kind of had to get thrown out the window anyway through COVID. And so I don't think not having much of one to start with was really probably too detrimental, because you wouldn't have been able to reference it anyway.
Exactly. And I would have set myself up for disappointment as well. So an ongoing business plan is like checking in every month, what products we're going to make, what we're going to do. Look, I mean, we always have to be a step ahead because of Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and things like that, or what next do people want, and so they're always on the pulse of that, the trends, but also staying true to what we do as well, and not changing too much as there's a fine line in bringing new things out and having a signature line that works very well. To grow slowly in these times is good, because then you work everything out for the next big step. And I'm so happy here in my collaboration that although that's a future endeavor, I'm just growing. I'm growing slowly and learning as I'm going, really organically taking everything in. So then I'll be ready for that big step.
Now, one of the things that you said at the very beginning, which I'd like to dig into just a little bit further, was you said, I had no idea what I was kind of getting myself into, all the different rules and regulations and the things you need to know and learn and so on. And I think that that's very true to most entrepreneurs, in which there's almost a blissfulness in the ignorance of not really anticipating what is in front of you. And so I've talked to lots of different entrepreneurs who said, if I had known all that, sure, things might have been differently. I might have set things up differently, but I also might not have done it at all because it would have been so intimidating.
So true.
Is that,
Do you absolutely, because there's so many bylaws, laws, food, there's so much. Accounting, for example. I am not an accountant by any means, and that would have definitely, I would have cowered back from that. Luckily now my husband's doing that, so like keeping track of costs and all of that is a really important. It's really important to get on top of that as your business is growing quite fast. And if I didn't known that in the beginning, I probably would have stayed small. But knowing what I know now, having good team around you when you do start to get a little big, people who do know what they're doing. Like I'm not a maths person, so I pass that on to my husband, and he's got a good, keeping up with your business license, keeping up with your permits, keeping up with all the COVID regulations as well. So there's lots in that element that you need to take care of.
Oh, you have a bunch of stuff laid out here, and I think you're going to show me how you build this beautiful art in a box, essentially, the charcuterie boxes that you create. So
even finding the right size boxes to serve to people was also an endeavor. How much do you give somebody?
Yeah.
I tend to overgive. That's just part of my nature. But this box is like it's like a 6 inches by 6 inches, and this is a onesie box.
Okay.
Okay. So I found the boxes. I found everything, how to, working it out, how the food soaks in the bottom, and I put a gold label in there to keep the food in not soggy at the bottom. And so I always start with a little bit of Mealies preserves, so I use all the products. And then I frame my box. So what I would start with first is picking my cheeses out. So every month I go through my cheese list, and I have different cheeses from Quebec because I like using very unusual cheeses.
Okay.
And mixing them, the textures, the semi-firm, firm, and all the flavors too that people might not have tried. So I'll start with our French Brie. It's a nice cut in a triangle, and I'll place in the corner of the box. I like to frame the box and then build it in. So next I will take some beautiful green grapes.
Escaping here.
Yes. Juicy.
So how do you not eat everything? Like, how are you not 400 pounds putting these all
I've gained
together?
10 pounds, believe me, in the last 2 years. But I do sample everything because I need to know what's in the box.
Yeah.
It's like I would have to eat everything, taste it, and to make sure, when we were originally building the boxes and what's going in, every month we'll do a change of menu, so I know exactly what's going in the box.
And the flavors of it all, right?
Yes.
And making sure it's super fresh.
So we use local honey. In the summertime, we use Yeg honey, which is all the hives are on the top of historical buildings in Edmonton.
No way.
A phenomenal honey. And yes,
Really?
so yes, she has a program.
So it's all urban honeybees.
It's amazing. You should talk to her. It's like
Yeah.
she does amazing honey. So this is our signature. Brie and honey is a really lovely bite. So I'm just putting a little bit of honey on there, and then I'll just frame it a little bit. I'll put the berries on, so the honey keeps the berries on place.
Oh, nice.
And so we'll just, already you can see there's some green, and the colors are already popping, and that's just 2 things in the boxes.
Yeah.
So then I work with colors as well. So organic nectarines, which are very juicy at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll start now with some other cheeses to frame the box. This is one of my favorite cheeses. This is Molly-Turno truffle.
Oh,
and
wow.
it is a sheep cheese, mild, creamy cheese, but it has this infusion of truffles.
And that's the darker.
That's the darker. That's the truffle in the cheese.
Wow.
It's an exquisite taste, and a lot of people haven't tried it, and most people do like it. It is one of those delicacies. But
Oh, I can't wait to try that. Because
you're going to try that.
Yeah, so I can't do regular dairy. I have an allergy to casein, which is one of the proteins in it, and so goat and sheep though I can. And so you said this was sheep,
yes.
right?
And also we make dairy-free boxes.
Oh, you do.
We do dairy-free,
That's good.
vegan, vegetarian, and no pork boxes too, and halal boxes I've started to do now. So there's always something for everybody.
So wait a minute, how do you do a vegan charcuterie though?
I have a great contact in Vancouver, they're in Calgary now, that make vegan charcuterie meat.
Wow, that's incredible. And then for the cheeses, what would you do instead?
I use cashew cheese. There's Truffler, which is a local cheese company here in Edmonton. There's lots of plant-based options now. Yeah.
Oh, that is so neat.
Yeah.
Okay, really good.
So another one of my favorite. This is a French Comté, which is very, very nutty in flavor, and it goes really well with any kind of light red wine too, like a Pinot Noir or a Beaujolais.
Yeah.
And then I use 4 cheeses. And the next cheese, I always try to use a local cheese. This is an aged cheese. This is made by Lakeside, which is a local cheese company here in Edmonton, in Alberta actually. It's very sharp, so it really goes good with the fatty meats.
Oh, nice.
So that will go in here. And I use about 25 to 30 grams of cheese for each each. This is just one person.
Yeah, this is a lot of cheese.
This is a lot of cheese. So then what I will do then is I start to add the meats.
Okay.
So there is some little lessons to be learned in meat folding. So first of all, I will take, this is a copa. This is like a prosciutto from the whole muscle that Mealies produce. It's very delicate. It melts in your mouth and really beautiful taste.
Is this pork then?
This is pork.
Okay.
Okay, this is pork. Charcuterie is generally pork.
Generally?
I mean, it
Okay.
started in the 15th century where they wanted to sell pork in France and they couldn't. So they opened shops to regulate it. And so then you would go and buy cured meat. And then people, health got better because they started to eat meat and it was cured. They wasn't getting sick.
Oh, yeah.
It's I mean, that's how it is. Charcuterie is really pork. And then now it's become trendy with the name and it's meat and cheese.
Yeah. And so was that the origin then of the charcuterie was back then? And
in the 15th, 16th century, yes, in France. That's how it originated.
Okay.
So I've just like made my little flour in my pork and I'll place that somewhere so it pops. I'm always looking for little pop moments. And I've just been playing around with shapes and for a little while to get really good shapes and bites. So I'll pop that in there.
And so there's 4 different cheeses and 4 different meats as well? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a beef thuringus. It's a grass-fed beef. Okay. So because I like to have and then I'll just, I'll do a little fold in quarters so it'll fit in the box.
Yeah. So all those beef producers, they get a little bit of exposure in here too.
Yes. This is grass-fed beef. We love our beef here in Alberta. And so again, I'm always trying to create like a different kind of shape so it draws your eye in and different textures.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to show you how to make.
I think you're going to need a bigger box.
Well, I'm kind of,
Sorry, you're going to show us how to make what?
I'm going to show you how to make a salami rose.
A rose, okay.
Yes. So this is just a little one of those cups you can put jams in so you just frame the, whoops.
It's like a Jello shooter size.
Yes, a Jello shooter size. You just frame the little cup like that, like leaves. And then you just fold over, roll like a rose, bud, and then you fit in here.
Oh, wow.
And then I have some sassagnon, little dried sausage. This is fig and amaretto. And I'm going to place...
Fig and amaretto.
Yes.
Okay, so like the amaretto liqueur then?
Yes, amaretto liqueur.
So what are they doing with that then? In the meat there?
Yeah, they soak a little bit in the meat. I can't give you the exact process, but what Mealies do, if I want a flavor of something in the meats, like they're doing me some wild blueberry and rose for Valentine's Day salami, and they do lavender salami too, and floral salami, so they can add many different things. They're like scientists with meat. Honest, phenomenal to watch them.
Kind of fusing any type of flavor into it.
Yeah, fusing any kind of natural flavor because they don't use additives or preservatives in that way. They just use, they're scientists. Will and JL, they are amazing in what they produce here.
Mad meat scientists.
They are.
Love it. Okay.
So now we're going to get into now we're just going to fill the box in and bring it to life with all the fruit and vegetables in different colors. So
I think we're going to need like an extendable box in order to fit all of this in there because this is unbelievable. I don't understand how it's going to fit.
I will show you. There's little nooks and crannies in here.
Okay.
So I have some wonderful green olives. They're organic olives. They're in lemon rind and fennel and olive oil, so they're a really lovely bite. And I'm just going to find a little pocket there. And then I will come in and add some cucumbers. I like to make things into threes, because 3 is so beautiful for the eye.
Yeah.
So I will just pop them up like that. And then I'll add some... Always nice to have a crunch in your box.
Love radishes.
Yeah.
Radishes and turnips actually
Yeah.
are things that I grew up on the farm eating out of the garden,
Look
and
at
you just don't
these.
see them that much.
Melon radish.
A melon radish. Wow,
Yeah,
that is
they're-
absolutely
Isn't
beautiful.
that beautiful? I'll show you what I do with that in a second.
Okay.
And then some tomatoes, because we like a little tomato in our boxes too. And some strawberries, so I had some fruit. I've been adding in the wintertime, I have a local man from mainstream microgreens, and I use fresh microgreens because they're so spicy and go well with fatty meat.
Yeah.
And they're so nutritious.
Wow,
So-
and fresh, local, everything. It's
local.
just, yeah, the flavors are just going to pop.
And then I'll use some dry fruit. This is Turkish apricots and some organic figs.
Figs. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what these ones here are?
Yeah, I can put them behind here. Yeah, the figs.
Huh.
And then, of course, here I have real figs. So I get those from the Italian Centre. They're a joy to eat if you.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with figs that much, especially like in their raw form, I guess.
It's so beautiful to eat. They're
Yeah, and,
fleshy.
yeah, and this is not some fancy fig. This is just a normal fig,
It's a regular fig.
Oh, it's so beautiful on the inside.
Look,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Don't they have pits to them,
Nope.
or
Nope,
Oh,
they don't.
Okay.
So I usually centre that because it's so beautiful and it pops out.
Yeah.
I'll put a few blueberries over my brie as well. And then I'll add some herbs because I like to use a little bit of, so you can smell though, there is some basil here as well, or you call it
Yeah. Do you have a different name for it?
basil.
Oh, okay. It's like your tomato versus
Yes,
tomato.
exactly. So I'm just finding a little,
Whereabouts are you from
originally from Liverpool in England.
Okay. Yeah.
And then starfruit is an amazing shape.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So
Really
I'll
fun.
pop that at the back too. It's just fun. So as you can see, there's undulation in the box.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is tried and tested, and I've had fun with it too. And I've already cut up the pears and put some dehydrated flower petals in them. So I've
flower petals.
yeah,
That's
flower
what we're
petals. They're
seeing
real
here.
flower petals.
Okay.
I dehydrated, and I get I love using edible flowers. In the wintertime, it's not as easy to get.
Yeah.
But Prairie Gardens here, local grower in Alberta, they make fantastic produce, and they bring flowers as much as they can every
So
week.
Prairie Gardens on the north side
Yeah,
there. Yep.
yeah.
Really.
And so I'll just
Nice.
pop that there. And here are my little edible flowers. This is from this week.
Tiny and delicate.
Tiny,
wow.
delicate. It's slim
Yeah.
pickings this week,
Yeah,
but
look at that.
they are there. And I think, yum. So then I'll finish off with a melon radish. So I again roll it to make a shape,
Yeah.
and that really draws you in the camera.
Such vibrant color to it. So what is a melon radish? It's a cross between what? Do you know?
I actually don't know. I found them in the Italian Centre because I saw that I was buying a turnip at home, and I accidentally bought a melon radish.
Oh, okay.
And I opened it, and I was like, oh my God, look at this. I was like, so
This
I've
needs
been,
to
and
be
it
a
actually they taste really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Taste it.
Try one of these.
They're just like radish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they have the spiciness to them a little
in
bit.
it, yeah. I like adding that little
really
bit of
interesting.
spiciness. So
Love
then
that.
I have a little bit of lavender here, and I love putting a little bit of lavender on my brie. And then I'll finish it off with some honeycomb or honey, just to a little bit on the top. Whoops. In the summertime, I have a whole rack of honey that I just scrape off the fresh honeycomb. It's like, and then I always use a sprinkle of salt.
Okay.
Voila.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shall I show you?
Fantastic. Yes.
This is a beautiful box, and most say it is a lunch and a dinner.
Oh, sorry.
A
What?
lunch and a dinner.
Oh, lunch
So,
and a dinner. Yeah,
we-
this is like 3 or 4 meals. It looks
So
like.
we deliver these like at virtual events. A lot of companies use us now for their virtual events or gifting for Christmas time, and
Yeah.
they love our boxes. We can brand them with their own logos and labels. So we have now we finish it off the box. Oops. We always make sure it's closed and sealed. And then we'll use some of our signature ribbon.
This is a whole craft station you have here
Yes.
just to make a charcuterie box.
Yes.
It's all about presentation, isn't it?
Well, you know, we eat with our eyes, and so a digestive system starts,
Yeah.
and it's scientifically proven. And so when you see something beautiful, you know somebody's done that, you know. So I'm so passionate about making these boxes beautiful, but also that quality has to be match the beauty. And then that's where art of charcuterie comes in. It is a little bit of art.
Oh, completely. You've taken food to a whole different level here. And so the businesses that are using you then for some of their different corporate giving and that,
Yes.
is it just singles or do you have other options? What is?
Well, we do charcuterie bowls, a smaller option.
Okay.
Now somebody's asked for little boats as well. So whatever people need, I can always work with them, whatever they need. But
Yeah.
these are the onesie boxes. There's 2-person boxes, the 3-person boxes. They go up in
Okay.
numeral numbers like the duo, the trinity.
Yeah.
I kept it simple so we know how to, which box is for who,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And but there's always new things coming out. I mean, it's got so trendy now, and there's lots of catering companies making this as well. So there is a lot more competition, but I don't relate to competition. I just relate to doing what I do, and
Yeah.
there's room for everybody. If they want to create something, then good luck.
Yeah.
You know. But I think there's about 10 companies now that since I started are moving in this direction, making things. So
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I think a lot of people can get concerned about competition, and I love your approach where it's, I'm going to do my own thing, and if I do it well, my audience will be there.
Yeah.
My customers will be there because they will appreciate what it is that I'm creating.
I really believe in that because there's always going to be somebody more, better. And not to focus on that avenue, that pathway. Just keep true to what you know and what you're clear about, and then you'll make that better as you go along. And of course, you're always looking what other people are doing and supporting, but not in a way that does something not good to you on your inside, so to speak.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's coming from that place of abundance, right? In which you there's so much opportunity. There's so many different avenues that you can take a business.
Absolutely.
That it doesn't mean that you always have to be competing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we just finish off with a little
rose.
Little rose today. And then there's a menu that will go with this. So I print menus out so people know what they're getting. I don't use nuts or gluten in my boxes just because of the allergies.
Oh, okay.
And we have separate crackers that come with them with the gluten-free option. And so people can explore then. They like the menu because they know.
I would say, I can really appreciate that because charcuterie boxes I've had in the past, and there's been quite a few through COVID just because that seemed to be what we were doing. And that was one of the challenges is like, it's all this beautiful food, but I have no idea what any of this stuff is. And so some of it's like, wow, that's so unique and interesting, but I could never go and find it again in the store or something.
So we have a little menu that it comes with, and there are
nice.
slots in here. I'd have to do the correct one for this, but just so you get an idea.
Yeah.
Actually, it is the menu. And then.
And that's it.
Voila.
Look at that, everybody. What a beautiful presentation. Wouldn't you love to see this show up on your doorstep, somebody delivering it to you, or your next corporate event, or what a beautiful gift to give your clients. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Well, thank you for the tutorial.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like walking us through the art of charcuterie. It truly is an art form, and so no wonder the name is what it is. So now, a question for you just to kind of wrap things up. If you could go back in time to 2018, 2017 when you were starting the business, and I know you're like, wow, if I had known what I was in for, things maybe would have been a little different. But in terms of your now educated and experienced self, if you had that back then, is there anything you would have done differently?
I think I would definitely have got the accounting set up
Okay.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I was a bit, I didn't know much about that, and I could have spent more time, because that's a really important part of a small business is pricing and costings and things like that. And so I would have definitely had a bit more time to go into that and set it up. I just went straight ahead,
Yeah.
and that came after me, but you always have to catch that up. So
Yeah.
I would definitely do that. I would get two-step
Authentication?
on your Instagram,
Yeah.
because I got hacked recently.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that you had a big issue here recently where your Instagram account got hacked, and so I would love to have you walk us through what happened and how you got that fixed, because this is something that I'm hearing more and more people falling victim to. And
Yes.
so yeah, walk me through that.
Well, Instagram is my interface to the business, so
Yeah.
it's a real
It's
important
core.
platform. It's core, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so I got this email from Instagram saying, you have been awarded the blue badge, and this is like high on Instagram kind of, if you get a blue badge, you get more well known, etc. I didn't know much about that, but I pressed the button.
Yeah,
and then
it sounded good.
It sounded so good, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get into my Instagram account, and I got this money thing on my stories, like send money to this address, and I didn't know what to do. I tried to get through to Instagram. I tried to change my account. I couldn't. The password was going to the new email address. It was a loss. I spent hours trying to do something. Couldn't get anybody. They're all bots. There's no one to
Yeah.
speak to.
Yeah.
And so somebody reached out. One of my followers and a friend reached out and pointed me to somebody that might be able to help you. And she was just so available. A local Edmonton girl.
Oh,
and
excellent.
she'd been hacked. And she talked me through the processes that you need to have a Facebook business account, which I did, and then you need to make an ad so it's active, and then you need to get into the e-commerce and find a way to find the form where you can get a live chat going.
Yeah.
And I found the form within that, got the live chat going. Once you get the live chat going, they have to do something about it. And so I said, I've been hacked, I need help, and they were helping me and said, we can't take it. We can only take it so far. But the next day, Instagram resent my password and I had my account back.
Yeah, yeah. And so, folks, this is really, really important. If you're running your business through Instagram, or that Instagram's a very major important piece of it, make sure you're set up with a business account. So Facebook Business Manager can manage all of your different Facebook and Instagram accounts, because it's owned by the same company, Meta, now. And so if you have that, that does give you the mechanism to get back into your account. And this is really important, because those who don't do that, I don't know, I haven't heard of anybody being really successful in regaining control, because there's no way of proving then ownership. It's really difficult.
And somebody said you can pay a hacker $800, which I was prepared to do, to be honest, because
Yeah.
it was worth getting my Instagram account, but you don't
Yeah.
need to do that. There is a
Yeah.
way to do that, and I'm actually documenting it now.
Yeah.
So, and because somebody called me today and asked me for some help, and so I just want to I want to pay that back forward to help
Yeah.
people, because don't press anything. Instagram never sends you anything. Do not press anything. It's a scam.
Yeah, yeah, good, a good lesson learned there to pass on to everybody
Yes.
else. So thank you for that. Anything else that you would have done differently?
I think I've made lovely mistakes. There's
Yeah.
not been anything big
Yeah.
that I would have redone. Research is another good one. Make sure you know your demographic.
Yeah.
I would have put some more time into that too, because in the circumstances I didn't really have much time. It was like, move it now.
Yep.
And it's been really good. But if you have the time again, the business link is great for that. To look at your demographic and see is it a really viable idea.
Yep.
I felt at the time I was lucky to fall into the niche of being one of the first people to do this, and in collaboration too. So, but that's another thing that I could have spent some more time
Yep.
in it. And also, if you believe in what you're doing, you're passionate about it, that's because it's such hard work running your own business. There's so many hours.
Yeah.
And if you think about all that, you probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So really, if that's burning passion, just step into it.
Yeah, those are lovely words to finish on, because it really truly is a passion project getting into business. And if you don't have that, the nights are really long, or the days are really long and the nights are really short. And so it ends up just really draining you unless you have that real passion where it invigorates you to come in here.
Exactly.
And I mean, it doesn't hurt to be around all this beautiful, colors and fragrances and everything else. And then the joy that you are handing over to to somebody when they open that up. I mean,
Yes.
obviously, I can see that you really get a lot from that
I
yourself.
do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. I'm so happy that I've had lots of people respond and give me reviews that they really had a wonderful experience, and that to me, that's why I do it.
Yeah.
You know, so. I'm really happy about that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Diana, so
You're
much for
welcome.
taking the time today to share your story, to show us how this is all done, to show off the incredible, incredible art that you have here. And yeah, I just am really proud of what you've accomplished in such a short period of time with your business and how you've evolved it, especially somebody without any culinary real, you know, like education anyway. I mean, you've been in and around that industry, you said, but you weren't trained in it per se.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's really good to jump in and something like this and really create something special. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And thank you, everybody, for watching this episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, we have many, many more episodes over in our archives at amplifyyourbusiness.ca. So just head over there and watch some of the archives. And if you are a small business who wants to be showcased and has a unique story to tell, then please reach out. There's a form on that page in which you can apply to become a future guest of Amplify Your Business. And until next time, stay safe, everybody. And I'm going to have something to eat, I think. This is great. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Diana.
You're welcome.